Hello again, Timeless Pilgrim here at Timeless Pilgrim Travel, your friendly and competent travel advisor. This is the second and final part of warning signs for travel. And in the first video, I discussed communication, and on this trip that I went on this past summer in June, how poor the communication was and how it affected my travel. I also talked about payments and how final payments were made before even hotels were known. And I also talked about transfers, and that was part of not knowing the hotels. And this time I'm going to start off with the transfer issue, because this affected us even after we started our trip. The transfer was set up and we got two communications. One communication gave us some information, and then we got another communication that said, hold on, we have to make some changes. It's going to be this now. So it was very confusing. We were a group of 5 people who were supposed to meet a driver at the Athens airport, and the group was under the name of one of the travelers, which made me think that that one traveler had the information, and that's, who we needed to meet up with. However, we didn't know who that person was. We'd never met them before and not communicated with them. We didn't have contact information, nothing, just a name. But another thing they sent was the travel arrangements for all of the travelers. So we knew who everybody was and where they were flying from to get into Athens, which I'm not sure is a really good thing to share, but they did. And because they did, I noticed that the person was under his name, was flying from Istanbul to Athens on the same flight as we were. So I was able to find this person. We met them at Istanbul at the gate, very nice couple. And then sadly, we found out that they didn't know why the group was under their name, and they didn't have any more information than we did about who we were meeting and where at the Athens airport. And it was like, okay, well, we're together now and we will make it. We'll figure it out when we get there. Power in numbers, right? But it's not how it should be. Travelers shouldn't have to be doing this on their own when they've gone through a travel agent and group leader who was planning everything. Anyway, we got to the Athens airport. My traveling companion and I found the driver and the 5th person in our group. And because we knew who the other 2 people were, we made sure they found us from baggage claim, and we all got to the hotel. When we got to the hotel, there was nobody there to greet us, nobody there, no information to tell us where to meet in the morning, what time we were leaving to go to the cruise ship. We went to our rooms and just hoped that in the morning we'd find somebody. And this communication theme, this horrible communication, has gone throughout the trip. Before we traveled, we were told that if you want to get communications, you needed to have WhatsApp. That's how communication was going to be done. My traveling companion responded saying, we don't have WhatsApp, and these are the facts and the statistics as to why WhatsApp is not a secure method of communication when you're traveling internationally. It's susceptible to cybercrime. And in our line of work, cybercrime is a real thing, and we are aware, and said we couldn't get communications that way. And their response was, well, that's what we're using, but I'll try to send communications through Gmail. And that sounded okay until you remember that a lot of people travel without internet plans, and they only have internet on their devices when they are near Wi-Fi. And this is common. Even me. The only time I secure Wi-Fi for myself is if I'm the group leader, so that I have access to all things that I need to when I'm supervising and leading a group. And their response was, you can just ask other people there's people who have WhatsApp and you don't have to. You should never have to ask other people in the group you're traveling in. A lot of times you don't even know them and say, hey, was there any information passed? Is there something we need to know? So communication continued to be a problem throughout the entire trip. And it caused stress and anxiety, but for the most part, we were able to overcome and we enjoyed the places that we went to, except for the one place we didn't get to go to. And this is another horrible thing that should never, ever happen to you. Changes happen on a trip for necessary reasons like weather, politics, and mechanical failure. And when that happens, if you have planned with a certified travel professional and you have booked with industry leading suppliers, they take care of those things and they help mitigate the outcomes. So, for example, the rivers are low. Some are canceling their tours altogether for river cruises in Europe. Some are making land tour plans to go around the low river areas. But they're managing it and they're taking care of their travelers for the most part. I'm not going to say everybody is, but the industry leading suppliers are doing a good job. On our land tour, we got off the cruise onto land, and at this point, the group leader was literally like in charge of the tour from then on. And the group leader is not in charge of the tour. A group leader is in charge of helping and assisting all people in the group, making sure everybody's there, making sure everybody understands where they need to be and when they need to be, if they have questions and things like that. The group leader is not there to change the itinerary. We paid for an itinerary. We paid on this particular day, we paid to go to 2 locations. When we got on the bus, we were notified that the second location wasn't important and there was no reason for us to go there. So we would be coming back to the hotel early. And if you wanted to do something else, here you could do this or this or this and pay for it yourself. So in other words, you paid to go to this location. We are not going to go there. We're going to keep the money. And if you want to do something in the afternoon, you can pay for it yourself. Nah, this is completely unacceptable. And if you work with me, this will never, ever happen. But this is what happened on our tour. The other thing that happened was they flipped 2 days. They decided to do this itinerary on this day and instead of this day, they switched them. And you might think, well, that's not a big deal. You still got to do everything that it said, right? Yes, but tours always have free time. And your itinerary tells you generally when your free time is. So if you want to make plans to do something else, you can. And because they switched the days, the plans that I had made could not happen, which in some instances can cause a traveler to lose money or to, in my case, not meet up with a business partner, which thankfully he was still available and I could change it. But that's not supposed to happen on a tour, and especially it should never happen just because the group leader wants it to. So that was my trip, and there was anxiety, there was stress, but I loved Greece and I loved Turkey. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back next year in September, and I'm going to be the group leader on this trip. and it's going to be amazing. Did you know, not for me as the travel advisor, I can travel and designate myself the group leader and just do it. If you have a group of people and you want to be a group leader, you can be an amazing group leader. Any group that wants to travel and comes to me to help arrange it, I'm going to ensure that the group leader knows exactly what their responsibilities are and what they need to do, and to help them feel comfortable doing it. And group leaders get perks because they're not just traveling on a vacation. Group leaders are actually working a little bit. I mean, when you have to make sure everybody in your group is on the bus before the bus leaves, you're working. So there are some perks for group leaders because they do facilitate a wonderful tour for the entire group. And hopefully they know everybody in their group, which also helps. So if you want to be a group leader, let me know. I will also help you out with that. Anyway, that's the trip. In the next video, I'm going to talk about my next group tour and where I'm going and share that information. And if any of you want to join me on my group tour, there is a link below for my website where you can connect and set up a free consultation, and we can discuss any journey you would like to take. Remember, your travel advisor is Timeless Pilgrim Travel, the Timeless Pilgrim. Bye.